All right, thank you, Matt. So what will this decision mean for insurance rates and coverage? Here to talk to us more about this monumental decision and its impact on Americans, New Yorkers with and without insurance is former New York State Insurance Superintendent Greg Serio. Greg, thanks for being with us tonight.
Greg, good evening.
Well, let's get right to it. You know, the plan was basically designed to do a couple of things, and that's to get the uninsured insured and to bring down costs. Let's talk about the costs first. For the average person who does have insurance through their employer, say, does this change things for them? Will their cost eventually go down for them and their employer?
Theoretically, it might go down a little bit because insurance, as everybody knows, works on they call the law of large numbers. The more people you have in, the less cost it is for everybody. So assuming that the individual mandate brings more people and healthier people into the marketplace, that should bring health insurance rates down or at least stabilize them.
But will everyone come in? Let's talk about the uninsured now, for instance. One thing I heard today is that the penalty that you have to pay if you don't get insurance might be cheaper than actually paying for the insurance themselves. So people might just accept the penalty and go with that cheaper out, if you will, and not get in and therefore bring up costs for everyone else. Could that happen?
That most definitely can happen. In fact, as I was reading through the opinion today, the Chief Justice Roberts goes to great length to talk about the likelihood that younger people who they're trying to bring in will actually not come into this program, and in fact there'll be an arbitrage of sorts where people say, look, it costs less for me to stay out of this program than to go into it, and I think the flashpoint for this is going to be in the younger population, the people who already are not buying health insurance, who don't think that it's a good economic value for them, and I'm not sure that the new bill, now that it's been upheld, changes the economics of it at all to make it a better economic deal for them.
Well, let's talk more about those economics. I think a lot of people just don't understand this. There are so many questions. It is a very complex issue. What about the health insurance exchanges? New York has got its going. The governor put that in place in April. Might that bring folks in? And what exactly do they mean? What is the exchange?
Well, it's really creating a marketplace. And in a lot of states where there's been one carrier and not a lot of agents who write this business, the exchanges are really going to do quite a bit. In New York, the exchanges are actually coming into what can be considered a vibrant marketplace because you have multiple insurers, both for-profit and not-for-profit, and you have a lot of agents in the business. I think what the exchange will do, it will organize the marketplace a little bit better in New York. It will bring some common language, if you will, to the public in terms of how these things operate and may get more people into the market. But New York's been ahead of the curve on this already, so I don't think the impact of Obamacare is going to be as significant in New York as it might be in some of those states that had a single payer, one company, a few agents, and high rates.
All right, there are still 2.8 million New Yorkers without insurance, though, right?
There are a number of people who don't have insurance, a lot of working uninsureds, but the reasons for those folks being uninsured are they're young and don't like the economic value proposition. B, may not be in the state on a documented basis, so they avoid the health care system or certainly health insurance, or people who have moved in and out of jobs. And as like other states, the New York health insurance marketplace is still very much an employer-driven state.
Talk about here. I'm being told to wrap things up, but I just want you to put a bow on this. Certainly today is not the end of all this, right? No.
In fact, the Supreme Court left a number of decisions out there, including the Medicaid discussion, which they overturned. And I think you'll see more discussion about how the federal government can get the states to work with them on the Medicaid program.
All right, Greg, thanks so much for coming in with us tonight. Greg Serio, the former New York State Insurance Superintendent.